Teachers, welcome back from the workbook window. Now we are changing the topic. We are moving away from the workbook window. We are heading to cell basics. Now in this video, we are mainly going to look at what are cells, what are cells made of, how do we deal with cells, and that's when we'll be able to understand exactly how cells are used to run Excel. Don't forget to work on the previous work, on those exercises you've been given at the end of each video. That is what will make you understand what Excel is. Thank you very much. Let us move directly to the computer.
Yes, teachers, welcome to this video illustration of cell basics. Before we continue, I would like to give you a small question. Please note down what you have learned in the previous videos. Not only the last video, but all the previous videos. Try to note down what you have tried to learn out of those previous videos. You'll be given around 10 seconds. Pause the video. Try to note down. After noting down, we'll continue with the video. In this video, we are going to look at cell basics. And when we talk of cell basics, we are talking about the cells which actually are the building blocks of Excel. Whenever you work with Excel, you will enter information or content into cells. And the cells, as I've said, they are the building blocks of all worksheets of Excel. You need to learn the cell basics of cells and cell contents to calculate, analyze, organize data in everything you do in Excel. As long as you understand what cells have to do with, you'll be able to do your Excel work appropriately. Now, every worksheet is made up of thousands of rectangles. Which rectangles actually are the ones which you call the cells. A cell is an intersection of a row and a column, and rows are labeled with the 1, 2, 3 numbers, continuous from 1, 2, 3 and onwards, while columns are labeled with the letters A, B, C, D. Look at this Excel sheet. If you look at this Excel sheet, these ones up here, the ones I'm listing up there, are the ones we call columns, while these ones on the side here are the ones we call rows. If you look at this one, its address is N, that is in the column, and row 14, meaning its address is N14. If you look up here, it is written N14. That is now where the address of our cell will be. Now, if we continue, each cell has its own name or the cell address based on its column and row. And in the, for example, the one we have seen there, it was N14. This one here, it is labeled N14. If you look here, column is N, while row is 14. That is now what we call the cell address. Is always written up here in this corner. If we are to continue, you can also select multiple cells at the same time. A group of cells is also known as a cell range. Rather than a single cell address, you can refer to a cell range using cell addresses of the first and last cells. For example, if I come here, if I needed this whole line, meaning that I've started from a cell called B10 and I've ended with a cell called M10. So this one is actually what I would call the cell range, starting from N up to B. For example, if we are here, or I can also select these ones. They are showing you it is starting from B10 up to L17. During the point when we are selecting, you will see there in the cell range, it is showing you 7R times 10C, meaning we are starting from, we have 7 rows and 10 columns selected. If I continue, though now if you look at what we have written here, A1 to A5, now that one is what is going to refer to as our range. In this example here on the screen, we have selected from A1 up to A8. So the address here for this one is going to be A1 to A8 as you see it here, while this one is going to be A1 to B8. This column here is used to refer to from where we are starting from to where you are stopping. To select a cell range, sometimes you may want to select a larger group of cells or a cell range. Click and hold and drag with the mouse until all the adjoining cells you wish to select are highlighted. Release the mouse to select the desired cells. The way I've been doing it here, I want to start from here. I'm holding down the left mouse and I'm moving the mouse until I reach where I want to select. After reaching where I want to select, I release, and then my mouse will release the content. Now, I want us to go for a break. In this break, I want you to try and test out different cell ranges. Try to highlight out cell ranges in your Excel sheet. We'll start from there in this second part of the video.
In this second part of the video, teachers, we are still also looking at the cell basics. However, in this particular case, we are going to look at how we can deal with cell content. We are dealing, how do we deal with exactly what is in the cells. The other time we saw what the cells are, but now we are seeing how do we deal with the content inside the cells. Let us go and see what that content. Thank you very much.
Yes, teachers, we are continuing with our second part of this video. Now we are going to look at the cell content. If you look at the cell, when we talk of cell content, this is the information you enter into the spreadsheet, and all that information is stored in cells. Each cell can contain several different kinds of content, including text, formatting, formulas, and functions. For example, when you see here we have tried to put in different information. These are percentages, these are cells, these are different dates. So we have dates, we have cells, we have different numbers written in different ways. When we talk of formatting attributes, cells can contain formatting attributes that change the way letters, numbers, and dates are displayed. For example, a percentage which is 0.15, like these ones we have here, can also be written as 15%. You can even change the cell's background color. For example, here, if I go here, this cell here, which is F7, I can go here in cell styles, and I can change the color which I want it. For example, if I wanted to have that color, I can also make the content. For example, I've written those letters. I can decide to make these letters bold. I can decide to increase the size of those letters. Those are all different formatting attributes which we are talking about. It can also contain formulas and functions. Cells can contain formulas and functions that calculate cell values. In this example, if you look here, we can decide to add. For example, if I go to the numbers, for example, I'm going to write here, I have 36, 50, 24. I can decide to get a sum. I'll go here in my formula, I write there sum, and I will select my cell range. From here to here, you can see up here it is written H9 to H11, meaning that is our cell range. And when I press enter, it is giving me the total is 110. So this is the total of this one. So this cell here, which has 110, contains formulas. It contains actually function which tells us about the different information. How do we insert content in a cell? I click on the cell which you want to select, type the content to the selected cell, and then press enter on your keyboard. That's all. The content will appear in the cell. For example, we are here. If this is my cell, I want to write my name, Musoke. After writing, I press enter. So the name Musoke will stay there in my cell. If we continue to delete the content, you select the cell with the content you want to delete, and then press delete. I want to delete my name from the content, from the cell. Press there, press delete on your keyboard. The information will be deleted. To delete cells, there is an important difference between deleting the content of the cell and deleting the cell itself. If you want the entire cell to be deleted, the cells below it will shift up and replace the deleted cells. That is the difference. There's deleting the content and the deleting the cell itself. If you want to delete the cell, select the cells you wish to delete. Select the delete command from the home tab on the ribbon, and then it will shift up. For example, I had Musoke here. I've returned it. After that, when I come up here, I can say check here and delete cell. When delete cell, I'm being asked here, what do you want the cells to do? Do you want them to shift up? When I say okay, before I delete, possibly let me put another one here. That is another cell. Here the name Musoke is on cell K9. Now I'm going to delete it. Delete cell and then shift cell up. Shift cells up. You are seeing that KKK is the one which has gone to K9. All these cells which were down here have moved upwards. Though it is not visible, you may not see them moving up, but the content, you are seeing that the content has moved upwards. How do we copy and paste cell content? Excel allows you to copy cell content that is already entered into your spreadsheet and paste the content to other cells which can be saved, which you can save your time and effort. Select the cells you wish to copy, and then you go. For example, I want to bring back my name Musoke. I want to copy it. I just come here to copy. You see where the copy is here, and then I'll paste it somewhere here. Press paste, meaning the content of this cell K9 has moved to O9. As simple as that. Or you can use the shortcuts, that is Ctrl+C to copy, and pasting will be Ctrl+V. As simple as that. Then to access more paste options, if you want to paste there, the pasting has a number of options. After I've copied, I may have many options. If I'm here, when you press here, there are so many options of paste. This one is the normal pasting. This one will paste the formulas if it has formulas. This one formulas and number formatting. This one will keep the source formatting the way it looks initially. It is the way it will look. This one it will paste without borders. Keep source column width. It will keep the width. This one will change the rows to columns and the columns to rows. This one will paste on the numbers and so forth. They are in variety. You can always try them out and see how all of them work. Rather than choosing commands from the ribbon, you can access commands quickly by right-clicking. Simply select the cells you wish to format, then right-click the mouse. A drop-down menu will appear. For example, if I wanted to paste, I right-click, I'll have a number of pasting options. Instead of going up here, I can also use these ones. They all have the same, they do the same work. And if we continue to drag and drop the cells rather than cutting, copying and pasting, you can drag the cells to move their contents. For example, I want this name Musoke to go down to all these cells. I will drag, and then you see that all the cells have got that name. This part of the video, I want to stop there on this part of the video. I'll try to practice what we have gone through, try to format some cells, write a few things and write some information in your cells. Also try and drag out some of these things to try out and practice what we have done in this part of the video. Our next part of the video will start from there. Thank you very much.
And in this last part of the video, teachers, we are going to look at the field handle. That field handle is going to help us to see how we can copy information from one cell to other cells if we especially need to use it regularly. Thank you very much. Let us go to the computer.
Teachers, we are still continuing with our video. We are looking at the cell basics. Remember to practice. Take some few minutes, pause the video, take some few seconds, practice what we have done in the previous 2 videos. How do you use the fill handle? The fill handle is possibly there are so many times when you may need to copy the content of one cell to other cells in your worksheet. But if you decide to copy one cell to each other, that may be time consuming. Instead, you may decide to use what we call the fill handle, which will quickly copy the content into the adjacent cells. For example, now if I look at my content, okay, I'm deleting this content, I don't need it. I have one, and I want this one to be copied to all the cells. Just highlight this. There's a small box here in this bottom right corner. This box is what we call the fill handle. If you drag it down, that information which had been written in the first columns, the first cells, can all be pasted into the adjacent cells. However, this one is only dealing with information which is the same. What if you had information which is different? For example, I had information like 1, 2, 3, which is different. Now this is giving me a series. Here I have 4, 5, 6. Now when I copy this and drag it down, it is going to give me a series of the information 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And this one is forming a series of information which I'll be dealing with. So that is how we can use our fill handler, which is this small box here, this small square here in the bottom corner of each cell. When you select a cell, to copy and paste the information in series, or even just copy the information and paste it somewhere. So what we are talking about here is actually exactly what I have been trying to explain there. And now this one here, we are trying to talk about it using days, but exactly what I've talked about there using numbers, it is exactly the same, even if it was days. If we went back here, I wrote here Monday, followed by Tuesday, meaning if I highlighted this and copied, it will go down until you're seeing that they are continuous. I'm having Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, again Monday, Tuesday, and so forth. So this is also a series just like this one. Now, from there, how do we find and replace? The find and replace is found at the, if you go, it is found here. Here it is written as find and search. If you want to find a certain word, for example, I want to find a word like Tuesday, I will say find, next it has told me there is a word Tuesday here, or if I say find all, it is showing me there is one here, and it is showing you the address of all those cells. One is here, another one is here. If I click on this one, it shows the first one. Click on this one, it's showing the second one. But if I want to replace that word, I can say I'm replacing Tuesday with the Tuesday mass, and replace all. So you're seeing that actually all my words which were reading Tuesday, now they are reading Tuesday mass. So that means I can, even if there are 1,000 words, they can all be edited at the same time. So briefly, what we are talking about here, find a replace dialog box will appear. Enter the content you want to find, click next. If the content is found, the cell containing the content will be selected. Exactly what we are talking about there is exactly what I've been trying to talk about down there. How do you replace the content? I've already shown you. Choose which content you want to replace, and then feed in the information you want to replace. Now, this is our level challenge, which is marking the end of this set of video. Open an existing workbook, select cell D3, this one is specific. Note how the cell address appears in the name box and its content. Now, this one is giving us a brief a brief summary of everything we have done since the first video. Select the cell and try inserting text and numbers. Delete a cell. Note how the cells below shift up to fill in its space. Cut cells and paste them into a different location. Try dragging and dropping some cells to other parts of the cells. Use the fill handler to fill the data adjoining cells both vertically and horizontally, and use the find feature to locate content in your workbook. Pause the video and try to do out this small level challenge activity, and from here that's where our next video will begin. Thank you very much for being part of us. We meet in the next video.